Let's take a deep breath together. Let's take another deep breath. And another. Yes, you're already doing it, but I want to invite you to move your body in any way that is helpful to release some tension. Maybe your neck, maybe just stretch or yawn or anything. Just, yeah. So much going on in the back, right? Ah. Hmm. 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 Oh. Hmm. I'd like to invite you to look around your space and see it as it was the first time you see it. Imagine that you are a tourist in your own space and see everything like new. Just look around, colors and the texture, the things. You are a tourist in your place. And, mm.
Very messy.
That was my thought too. I was like, oh.
Now Cher is joining us.
Hey, yeah, yeah. Good.
Welcome, Cher.
Yes. Good.
Thank you.
Good to have you share. We are just arriving. Because it's a small group, I would like to introduce ourselves. Maybe if we say your name, but also I'm curious to know a bit about when was the first time you felt attracted to tango? And if you remember what happened. So say your name and remember how long you've been dancing tango and when was the first time you say, oh, wow, this is my thing. Okay, I want to start. My name is Jesus Acosta. And it was 7, 8 years ago when I was dating and my date mentioned that she loved tango. And I never danced tango and I was never in a class on milonga. So I started going to classes just because I wanted to impress my date. It's a good reason. It's a lovely,
I love that.
it's a beautiful reason. So I was there, and during the class, I felt completely out of place. Like, what am I doing here? But it was at the end of that class when I saw the teachers dancing together. I was beautiful. And at that moment, my motivation changed. At that moment, I knew that I wanted to learn that. So that was for me the first time, my first encounter with tango as a dance. So, who wants
Next person.
next person?
I'll go. I'm Cher Marie. I I got attracted to tango in 2018 after I had seen, or actually, I was reading a book about a medical doctor, Dr. Christiane Northrup, and she had a broken relationship. And after her relationship, she got into tango. And I was quite intrigued by that. So I started watching some of her videos and her talk. And she talked about the, from a medical perspective, how healthy this is for our well-being, for our brain, for our emotions. And it also lowers dementia risk. So I was quite intrigued. But then, of course, COVID hit and the big pandemic, the world pandemic. It was on my bucket list, let's put it that way.
Mm.
So it's on my bucket list. During COVID, I bought myself a pair of tango shoes, but I did nothing with them. They sat in a closet because I love shoes. Also, during that time, I read a book called Trauma to Tango, which was written by Aidan Dunnigan. He It's sort of a memoir, but he strings it, does a beautiful job of weaving together his experience of tango, which he's been doing for 20 years, along with the trauma in his life. So again, another piece that really attracted me to it. So I didn't start until last year, 2025 was my oh, I'm going to check this off my bucket list. So I took a class at the university, and then I met Aiden's group, and I've been dancing there ever since.
Mm.
So nice. Wow,
So
Aiden, I'd love to read the book.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it's on Amazon, or you could send me your address and I'd email you a copy, or not email, mail you a copy, whatever is easier. But it is on Amazon, so and I can send you a link.
I'll
Mm.
message you.
Good. Who wants to go
Thank you,
next?
Sharon.
Yes, thank you, Sharon.
I'm muted. I think I came over like tango in 1998, something. Yes.
Wow.
And I started like ballroom dancing, and there was the milonga also, and I saw the couples dancing, and tango was one part of the ballroom class. And over the years, I did all the ballroom dancing too, but tango became my favorite. So I ended up being a tango dancer only. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Nice.
Good choice.
The beginning was very clear for me. My fiance and I were overnighting in a boutique B&B in one of our uh, classier neighborhoods in Edmonton. And we came down the steps celebrating our engagement. And the next day, as we were walking down the stairs, there was a poster with the proprietors uh, advertising their tango classes. So it was just absolutely the right mood, the right time, and the right look. We were enchanted, and we thought that was the perfect thing for us to do in our launching our relationship formally. We'd been together for a while before that. And the teacher actually was a professional dancer in prior. So anyway, we took lessons there. There are a few other places in Edmonton, out and about. And then about 8 years ago, my wife couldn't dance anymore. She had an operation on her foot. And so that changed my focus. It also changed what the dance meant because I have to work on it on two fronts now. One is what it means for me to be uh, how I whether or not I choose to continue with tango because it had been a very much a couple experience for us. and what it means now as a dancing, not with my wife, but with everybody else on the dance floor. And then also explaining it to my wife, how how it can continue to mean something to me when it meant so much to us as a couple. It was our special thing, and now it's more of a generalized thing. And then for me to have to define it for myself now, what was that shift? It was a big shift. Yeah, the dynamics are certainly different. Dancing with one's beloved, or dancing with strangers or friends or whoever else. In my case, because I host a a tango community, um, dancing with a whole lot of people who are beginners, and so it's more of a work or a calling often than just a personal exploration. And Cher helps me with that too as well, which I appreciate. Helps me, yeah, some of the orientation, the beginning stuff with the breathing and such. You missed that. Share this with this call, but Jesus started us off very appropriately, calmingly.
Lovely.
Mm.
Yeah, sorry I was late.
Thank you, Aidan.
Thank you, Aidan.
Mm. Becca, do you want to go next?
Yeah, so that was very moving, Aidan. I like that, your description of your journey. I started tango about 20 years ago, but I have to say I come in and out of it. When I started it because I was in a very difficult relationship, and we kind of sort of split up a number of times. And I've actually made a film about it, so I could show you the film one day. But and she asked me. We were at a WOMAD, which is a music festival, and Gotan Project were playing there. I wasn't into tango at all. I love dancing, but not couple dancing. And at the Gotan Project, she asked me to marry her, and I turned around and I said, okay, "Come on, like you just whatever, but let's go to a tango lesson instead." So I booked just a tango lesson, and I turned up at the tango lesson, and she didn't turn up. But that was what the relationship was like. So I did the tango lesson, and I thought, wow, this is weird. This stuff, this is really odd. I didn't really like the music or anything, but I did like the connection, and I did Tai Chi, and so then I basically, my brothers gave me some money, to get me out of London, to get away from this woman, and I had two choices. I was learning biblical Hebrew at the time, and doing this tango, and I thought, well, I hate going on holiday, so well, should I go to Israel and do biblical Hebrew, or should I go to Buenos Aires and do tango? And I went to Buenos Aires and started tango. So that was how it began.
Excellent
Yeah.
choice.
I don't know. I think actually biblical Hebrew would have been a better choice, but anyway.
You still have
but
time for that.
well, I do. I don't know. I think I've chosen differently, but yeah. But as I say, although I've been dancing for a long time, it's not like 20 years of dancing. I do teach a bit, and I do run a little tango community. I think that's how I came to know you guys. I don't know, someone liked something I was doing on Instagram that then I found you guys. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Interesting.
Thanks, Greg. Sorry, Aidan?
Very interested in seeing the video or the film.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
let's talk about this.
I could, we talk another time about that.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. Well, my name is Ala, and I moved to New York after I got divorced in Miami, and I was thinking to after I was suicidal, and then I was like, okay, my life starts now. And I danced everything, because Russian parents, you have to dance whatever. When you're 3, you start dancing. I danced ballet, Latin, standard, like everything, ballroom, aerobic, modern, everything. But tango was always like inappropriate, like dirty, like something like not fancy enough. Like ballroom is very fancy. This is what good girls do. They do ballroom. And like when I moved to New York, I was like, fuck everything. And I bought 3 Groupons. I don't know whether you know the website Groupon, where you get like good deals on like in yoga studios anywhere. You can get to know a city, so restaurants, yoga studios, experiences, whatever. So I bought 3 Groupons for tango. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try, whatever. And this is how I started tango.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Yeah. The first teacher was an Argentinian. He was horrible. And then the second studio was actually the studio where I found a community, and we started going to milongas together as beginners. And and the third teacher was also great. She was amazing. Yeah. That was 2012.
What a wonderful collection of stories we have.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ola.
Thank you for sharing. Beck, where are you located? That's the only thing that
In the UK, in Cornwall. I don't know if you know Cornwall, down the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Should we move into the main dish? So when I saw the video that we're going to be seeing, I was so moved to a point where I started asking, what is it that's moving me? Like what is it that I'm seeing? And it was such a contrast, because for those of you who haven't seen the stories on Instagram, what I said was that I used to not like show dancing at all. I used to not like watching people dance in milongas when they do this like couple and they do the show, and I'm like, oh, please, like waste of time. Come on, we want to dance. And then my, let's say, ex of some sort, he introduced me to Carlitos y Noelia. And when I saw Carlitos and Noelia dance, my jaw dropped, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I love it. I love to see actually the connection between two people. I don't know how they're doing it, but I see that inside something is happening. And this is how I kind of like got into they were splitting up back then. That was their last year, so I was like, I'm gonna see them live. And I went to 2 festivals, their 2 last festivals. And this is how I got into traveling for tango. I wanted to say but we're going to see another couple. I don't want to say but, and we're going to see a couple that is, there's also a difference between when people dance salon and when people dance a scenario or like show dancing. And I feel like oftentimes I can connect way more to salon when people don't throw their legs super high and like throw each other in some whatever directions. However, there are exceptions. And the video that we're going to see is from Vanessa Vichalba y Facundo Piñero. And I think it's fascinating that they're not even dancing to a tango song. They're dancing to a guitar I think it sounds even like a Spanish guitar. I'm not sure what song it is, if you recognize it. So let's watch it, and let's I'm really curious about your perspectives and whether you like it, whether you don't like it, and then what makes it for you likable or not likable. This is a sharing circle, sharing round. Are there any questions, or does anyone want to share something? Otherwise, I'm just gonna play it. Share. Can you see the video?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. One little note, I'm so sorry. If you want to make notes, because it's 5 minutes long, so if you want to make notes of anything that pops into your mind, that's really great. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Facundo Pinero para esta bella alma.
I have to say, it feels a little bit vulnerable. Like I'm showing you something that I like so much, and I'm like, what if nobody likes it? But it's okay. If nobody's like it, that's fine.
No worries, no worries.
Sometimes we share things and people say, oh no, I loved it. And I was like, I don't know. So it happens. And totally okay. Does anybody have a burning desire to start?
Oh, I do. I loved it. I had my little mirror neurons going. And if anyone doesn't know what mirror neurons are, it's where we mirror the behavior of the other, like you feel like you're right there with them, or you're actually doing those movements. There's just so much here. I actually wrote down too much. Started off with anticipation, the connection, the music, the energy, the smoky background, the heartstring with the music and the bond of the couple. There's also some passionate pieces, like, again, I could feel right there. Oh, yeah. How to get your dopamine up. Okay, I'll shut up.
Thank you, Cher.
I think as Cher gave a positive, I can then give a negative. I appreciate. I think it's really great you show something you love, and it is brave and vulnerable making. For me, it reminds me that tango is a difficult world because there's so many different tangos, and we call tango, tango, tango. Carlitos and Noelia, I adore, absolutely fantastic. For me, yeah, that tango. I mean, I think I appreciate it. I appreciate the skill, the artistry, the interpretation of the music. You know, amazing quality of dance. But in terms of, I don't feel the kind of connection that I long to find in the dance. It's very choreographed. It may be improvised, but it has a lot. It's not. It's clearly is choreographed. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a bit like you were saying earlier, which you prefaced when you showed this. This is what you generally, the performance tango, you generally shy away on. So for me, yeah, for me, it's like, yeah, okay, but it's not my tango.
Thank you, Bag. Thank you for sharing that. That's exactly what I usually think. And now I'm thinking maybe maybe I see Vane and Faco so differently because I know them personally, and I can feel them differently. But I really think that they are like the exception in show dancing for me. Like I usually prefer really salon and the connection and the closeness, and they, for me, they manage to convey the connection even in something, even if something is choreographed. And I will ask her, actually, I will ask her whether this is improvised or choreographed, because it's not super show. Like she doesn't throw her legs around. She never, there was not even one jump. So it's weird. Usually,
And also the question of choreography is a tricky one anyhow, isn't it?
yeah.
I mean,
Thank you. Thank you.
I love that it wasn't tango music per se. I really enjoy the guitar, and I was amazed about the way they interpret the music and how they follow every single piece, like different rhythms and moments. It felt for me like they were playing the guitar with their hands, you know? And yeah, for me that was touching. Obviously, the whole atmosphere with the smoke and everything adds to the feeling like something special. Um, yeah, I wasn't judging or thinking about the connection or anything. I was just enjoying the musicality part and how they interpret that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Like the different perspectives. It's for me so, I don't know, magnificent, enriching, nourishing to hear all of this.
So funny, two people mentioned smoke. I didn't see any. I was so focused on the couple, I didn't see any smoke. Smoke, really? I don't know. I really liked the way they connected in the beginning, like really slow, and how they started. And then they had these like enormous changes of dynamic, but everything looked so easy, and so the connection must be enormous because otherwise they wouldn't be able to do that. What I realized was that they didn't look at each other at all, but still the way they touched, like there was this one moment when they opened the embrace and they closed it again, and she kind of like touched
Neck.
his neck. And they were so in the music and feeling the music. And yeah, for me, it was a really strong connection and so elegant and so leicht. It looked so easy.
Mm.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Aiden looks like he's writing a novel.
So maybe some general comments and reflections as well. I don't. In terms of what attracts me to videos generally, is that, do you want to go there or just want to stay with us? So it brought me to reflect on the videos that I have watched. That really pulled me in. And the current one, I forget the gentleman's name. He's a German fellow, but he usually dances slow. And so when I'm watching, so if a video pulls me in, I like slowness. And most of the performance stuff is quick. And this was a lot of quick stuff. And, this may be an age-related thing because even with hockey, I can't watch hockey anymore. It's too fast. Actually, I switched from male hockey to female hockey because it slows down and I can actually see and understand what's going on. So speed is not an appeal to me. I also am looking for something that I feel like I can imitate at least understand what the movements are. So I think, yeah, I could I could play with that maybe, so I can learn something. Whereas um, their stylizing and skill was exceptional, and just felt so beyond me that I didn't find a connection on that level. Then I think people, maybe somebody else looks at the technical proficiency, and that's kind of really excites them. I'm looking at the emotional level, and that's what's engaged me. So I'm flipping back to Carlos Gavito and Marcela Duran. I mean, I suppose he's very out of fashion these days, but initially that's what pulled me in, and I thought, what was the thing that captivated me? And it was I could really read the emotion. Now, of course, they were dramaturgs as well as dancers, and so I mean, they really overdid the emotional piece, but it made it obvious, and it made it also obvious that it was a focus of theirs, that they wanted the feeling. And then with his dancing, what I always felt with Gavito's dancing was there was an emotional buildup with every step. So it would just be a pause, a tension, and then a release. And that release meant that they expressed an emotional intensity and imperative with each of his steps. So I could just get into the feeling of everything that happened. And then, of course, it was complemented by his writing and, or at least his eloquent way of expressing things, which is another piece. And Jesus, this ties in a little bit with one of your posts recently. Somebody saying that, well, you're just talking about tango, you're not dancing. Words matter, and words create an opening and a connection that really complements. I mean, it doesn't substitute, but it does invite us in a way that we would have. So, I mean, I found that with Gavito's, his talking about his experience, and I find that with people like Jesus that write about their experience, that creates an opening. So anyway, that's a whole lot of stuff going on, and for me, that I'm looking for that backdrop in a way for me to really connect. And there have been, again, this German fellow, if I can remember his name before the end of the program, has that element to his dancing as well that I can connect with. Thank you.
German dancer. Now you gave me a riddle to solve.
Tall fellow, dresses usually in white or beige colored linen, but his style is quite slow, and it's the slowness as much as
White. Well, I'll research afterwards.
it's been a long time since I've watched any videos online. So.
Yeah, the thing about watching, you made me think. For me, watching tango, there is some richness in it. I mean, when I go to milongas, yeah, in milongas, a lot is happening in milongas, like invitations, tandas, and social life, interacting with people. But one part I really enjoy when I am is watching people dancing, and there is a learning part of it where I pay attention how the leader is doing his thing, but many times it's just amazing to watch the connection that some couples show on the dance floor. And I can stay there the whole time that just watching a single couple enjoying themselves and connecting themselves. Yeah, I think watching is, for me at least, is a fundamental part of the experience. Of course, it's dancing. Of course, it's feeling your body and your movement and your connection with your partner. But this also this part of receiving what is happening outside your own movements. And yeah, I find, and well, in YouTube you can find lots of stuff that is amazing. But also in milongas, you can watch couples dancing in ways that is so incredible. Yeah.
Would you because what I'm thinking is it doesn't happen often that I like watching people dance. And oftentimes, I have to admit, I'm not proud of it, but oftentimes I watch the pista to assess whom I want to dance with. It's not that I with a cup of tea in my hand love watching people dance. It's like scan, you know. So like my question is, or the inquiry is, what's the difference? Or like, are there just different people? Are we looking for different things? Is there a difference in experience level? Like the more experienced you get, there is like a different development if you're a beginner. I don't know. I'm just like questions that come to my mind. Because I clearly remember the anxiety that I was sitting with when I was a beginner in a milonga. Like, oh my God, they all dance so perfectly. How would I ever dance like this? Or is it me being super self-conscious, and other people who are more relaxed can just watch and enjoy and don't compare themselves to these dancers? So I'm just like my musings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I prefer. Yes. Yeah, Aidan.
So sorry, Aiden, can you repeat it, please?
Yeah, I'm just giving myself permission to jump in again. Because I think about it all the time. Like when I come home after a night, what was the dance? I happen to think that, or I have the attitude that the way we dance, the moves we do, the technical proficiency, and whatever is just almost an excuse to connect. And so I'm thinking of one dance that I had, and it's partner. She can dance quite nicely, but she is just totally present in the dance as she moves. I'm just aware that she's just really invested herself, really opened herself, very, very vulnerable. And, we hold after the tanda, and we just, when we thank each other, it's a real heartfelt thank you. And I can have that same experience with a completely new beginner who just shows up open and vulnerable and trusting, and we just create and explore. And maybe it's very simple, maybe it's actually really quite complex. But it's just that I just really thrill at the prospect that somebody has just come and presented and opened themselves up, and that myself as well, and that we can meet in that sacred space that we create in between. And so the tripping over each other or doing something fancy or kicking or interpreting the music or whatever, it's kind of just an excuse to create that opportunity for connection.
I think you nailed it. All good. Anyone?
I believe that it's super subjective, the experience that you have, because you could love one piece that someone is dancing and someone else simply doesn't feel anything. For me, I can only speak for myself. I have a strong side of me that is very contemplative, and it's not necessarily on the dance floor or in dance spaces. It's in my life in general. So watching is part of my being. Is where I feel really taking in what's happening outside me. It happens in nature. It happens in my living room with the small stuff when I stop and pause and move slowly. And of course, it happens in milongas and dance spaces where I'm not like Allah scanning for a potential dancer, but just taking in. And obviously, it doesn't happen all the time. Is when I see a couple with a good technical level, but mostly with a strong connection and presence and attunement, is where I lose myself there. And I tend to say no to cabeceos if someone invites me because I'm so in the zone, just contemplating beauty. Probably that's who I am, in a way.
It helped me a lot from the human design perspective. Human design is something like astrology, but there are very different types, and some people are focused inwardly and some people are very observant. And it's also interesting to notice, how different we all are. And I also think that a part of my inner focusedness is insecurity, like a constant observing what I'm doing and how I'm turning and how my hips are, how my feet are, how my legs are, and all of this. It's like a constant observation, and it's very rare that I can actually, like how people say, I just forget everything. I'm like, I wish I could forget everything, but I can't. It happens rarely. These are like like Aiden said once, unicorn moments, where I finally got the unicorn that I was chasing. But yeah.
No, I just, Ella, return to you. So you chose this film, this clip of these dancers. I feel I'd like to hear more from you about what it was for you.
Thank you. For me, I think the most important part, and it kind of connects to what Aiden and Jesus were saying, I feel like from the first moment, they create like a bubble around themselves. And Tango to Istanbul has 1,500 people, participants. And they dance in a way as if no one were watching. And I find it an incredible skill to reveal the intimacy that happens between a couple. And I happen to have talked with Vanessa about how is it even possible. They've been together for 14 years. They have 2 kids. They work together. They have a family. They have a business. They have El Cruce. They have a dance, like, what do you call it? Ensemble, like a ballet. And she said it's a lot of work, but this is what I admire. Like how to convey this connection to the outside world. And I also, like, generally I also admire their musicality. I always say that musicalities, we happen to have like a similar understanding of musicality or not. I don't say something doesn't have musicality. Maybe your musicality is just different than mine, but mine happened to come very close with Vanessa Facu's interpretation, as much as Noelia's and Carlitos. It's just like when I hear music, this is what I would do. And that's why it's so satisfying to watch, even like the slightest movements and the slightest changes, like the slightest, I don't know, it's fascinating to me. Which makes me also understand that the more I dance tango, the more depends on me listening to the music and understanding the music and being able to interpret the music, not from a level of technicality, but because I know the song so well. And I think they're doing it in a way that is, yeah, I think this is a distinction now that I'm talking about it. This is the distinction that a lot of show couples do it for other people. They do it to impress. And I feel like, of course, they're doing it to impress. I'm not saying that they're not doing it to impress. I think when you dance in front of 1,500 people, I don't think you're just, let's just do it. But they work so hard on every choreography, every performance, that in the end, to be honest, I think this is interpreted. This song was, I think that the fast bits maybe are choreographed, but a lot of it is actually just interpretation. I want to ask her, and I will. But that to me is, yeah, that's fascinating how they reveal itself. And I don't know whether you've heard, actually, she posted recently a video where she was talking about how every time she's scared, every time she steps onto the I want to say dance floor, but not dance floor in a milonga, a social sense, but for a performance on a stage, she says, "I'm scared." And yeah, I just I admire this vulnerability that she's bringing. She's like, even with lessons, she's giving everything. She's such a, yeah, passionate, but like giving person. So it's also Ornella Simonetto was also talking about how she's so grateful that her dance partner, is willing to go there, to give everything, to entregar, like deliver, to give it all, leave everything on the table. And I admire that a lot.
Yeah, thank you. That's interesting. I like particularly the idea of the bubble. It's true, yeah, that being able to bubble around you. It's nice.
It's also, I noticed that when I was watching Noelia y Carlitos in Belgrade and in Porridge, you know what they did afterwards? They went outside behind the building, and they were sitting there in silence smoking. Like, I think the connection, the intimacy is so intense that it's like they had to like ground the energy a little bit. And I was just sitting there further away. I didn't want to bother them, but I was like floored, really. Yeah, I think it's something to me comparable with a good actor, with somebody is on stage and giving it all, where you can feel what this person is conveying is like, wow, thank you.
That is very interesting, that comparison that you just made in terms of what you are able to project to your audience. No matter, I mean, part of it is rehearsing and practicing and choreographing, but the end goal is to project something and make your audience feel at least a bit of what you are feeling. Actors are reading and reading and repeating and memorizing, obviously, and but you can see how audiences are moved what they see, even if it's completely theatrical and dramatized and memorized. I think the comparison is quite good in that sense. There's probably some uh, performers who does better than others in terms of this projection. And I guess it helps a lot when you know the people like you do, Bella.
We talked about it, right? Jesus and I talked about it, that sometimes it helps to know the background or the behind the scenes, or sometimes it doesn't. Like, there is one couple, actually, Ornella y Juan David. What they are projecting is so intense and beautiful and all of that, and I know that they are not even friends. Like, they're literally, like she says, mi oficina, I'm going to the office, like. And to me, that like lost the magic. I'm like, oh, really? This is, I don't know. Sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't. And I don't know whether it's like the mastery or the own projections that are being fulfilled or not. But yeah, I don't know. I think there are both sides to it.
What I'm getting from all of this is that watching the dance or the experience it's not passive entertainment, that we're actually engaging, or it's an experience for our brain and our emotions, because you're showing us, or you're telling us, Ella, so much about the emotional connection there as well. So people who think it's just watching dance, it's more than just watching dance.
Mm. Mm.
I think it's more active, not passive.
Mm.
Oh, I have goosebumps.
And then, so a couple of my favorites. This is what actually got me to go sign up for tango lessons. It's not just Aiden's book and Christiana Northrup's, the medical doctor, but I went to a fringe play in 2023, and it was called Tango in the Dark. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's Point Tango, And this couple danced, she danced with one tango shoe and one classical ballet point shoe. And that did it for me. I was just like, wow. The emotions and everything, just watching that performance, I was like, okay, I need to move forward on that bucket list. Another one that moved me, and unfortunately, I don't know who the dancers were, and I don't know if I'll ever see the video again, but it was what I liked about this piece was that it was not traditional music. And the piece that they had played, it was a Jesse Cook piece called Breathing Below the Surface. And if you listen to the music, you wouldn't normally think of tango, but when this couple did it, again, it was brilliant. It really captured, for me, there was a bond, there was this emotional connection.
Mm. Yeah, it's interesting.
But if you ever get a chance to see this tango point tango, I don't know if they ever travel for, I assume they do, because they were here in Edmonton for the Fringe. Absolutely brilliant piece to watch her dance in a point and tango shoe. It was very passionate.
And it's Fringe Festival?
Well, it was playing at the Fringe Festival, but the dancers, I think they might even be married now. At the time, I don't know whether they were. It's called Pointe, Pointe, tango. And the performance that they gave, it was called Tango in the Dark. And I think they're based out of Montreal.
I definitely heard of it.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So again, I was watching dance, but it pulled me in. So it obviously was firing those neurons in my brain, and I felt that emotional connection, that deep understanding of the connection of the two of them.
Do you guys, I know that Jesus said it, that he likes watching people dance, but usually I'm quite surprised when people tell me, "Oh, can I go to a milonga with you and just watch people dance?" And to me, I feel like tango is the least what you call it?
Watchable.
Like there is everything is happening on the inside. Like we from the outside, we just walk and we sometimes like throw one leg up or down. But essentially, I don't know how can you see from the outside what is actually happening on the inside. And it's for me, it's every time is a mystery when people want to come and watch. I'm like, but like you don't understand it. How can you understand? And people are like, no, it's mesmerizing, it's beautiful. Like, really? Like, do you understand? Or do you like, I mean,
Why
oh,
is that any different than going to watch a baseball game or a hockey game or going to a movie theater? You're watching something. And if somebody wants to come to tango to watch it and they feel they're getting something out of it, I understand what you're saying because it's all internal for the person that's dancing. But if you go to a children's theater and you're watching them perform a play or them dancing, I think there's some enjoyment, there's some engagement there. There's I don't know how to describe that. It's entertainment for them. It's part of the audience experience. It's a social bonding.
maybe it's a different experience for them than for me.
Oh, it is, for sure.
So this is what I'm comparing, which is not comparable.
No, you can't. No. No, I mean I can feel the movement. I can increase my empathy for that person, but I can't be inside them. But I mean, I can really appreciate watching, because I do that at some of our milongas when I don't get asked to dance. So then I'll watch the dancers on the dance floor and see which ones are connecting, which ones are just doing fancy moves, which ones are disconnected. They're not in the bubble.
Mm. I think in one of our previous circles, I think it was Natalie who mentioned, let me see if I remember well, this concept of the small dance that happens, the big dance that happens on the outside. You see the movements, the pivots, posture, etc. But there is a small dance that is not as evident or as obvious, that it really is strong and powerful between the couple. They definitely feel it. And I do believe that some couples, not all of them, but some couples are able to live that moment so intensely that is projected outside. And yes, I definitely can sense it and feel it from the distance without being in that beautiful bubble. But something is projected, like radiating, I guess.
Mm.
I did find that Murat and Sigrid, I don't know if they're German, but that's a couple that I enjoy watching a lot, or have enjoyed in the past.
Say it again.
Murat, Murat,
Murat. Mm-hmm.
and Sigrid.
Oh, they're Turkish.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
He is definitely Sigrid, probably not, but Murat is, I think. There are a lot of Turkish dancers here.
Okay. I heard his accent, and at one point it sounded German to me. But anyway, and oh yes. So one of so I think, I suppose, why I'm not the fast stuff. I can't get into the fast stuff. What pulls me in with tango is the pauses, and um, and I just and that's really that creates the opening. If I'm watching somebody, that slowness where they just, in my mind, they're allowing the emotional intensity to build before they almost have to express it. So there's a compulsiveness that happens, but with the inner building of it, of the energy. And when I'm watching somebody and when I'm watching videos, that's why I need to have that point of where they're collecting themselves, and they're collecting each other, and they're just creating that moment of listening, intense listening, before they before they respond. But it's the same way in a conversation. If people are always blah, 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 talking over top of each other, and without any barely chance to catch your breath, you're thinking, wait a minute, you're not letting this settle inside. So that's the conversation with tango, that okay, we just did something really intricate or fancy, complex, and now let's just collect ourselves. And where does that leave us? And what does that create or open for the next step that we're taking? And I mean, to be honest, I so often waste those moments and just plow through them, and then at the end think, yeah, God, it's just 3 minutes, there it is, gone. But not always. And the times that I don't, I'm able to just hold on to and say, okay, that's what I was looking for. That was kind of the magic moment.
Aidan, is that watching those moments? Perhaps this is an obvious question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. I guess these moments that moves you when you watch something dancing, affects your own dance as well, or influence in a way the way you dance. Is that the case?
In terms of, I mean, thanks for asking that. I don't know if I can answer the question, but in terms of our community, if there's a deficit, there's lots of deficits. We're a young community, and we're out in the hinterland. We do what we can, and we have fun. But one of the things that people mention often is, especially the leads, I don't know how to slow down. I don't know how to pause. And so I ask myself, okay, where is that coming from? And there's so many emotional layers to that, or psychological layers. There's the vulnerability. Am I going to bore my partner? Am I going to, if I create that pause? And it's again, that's the same thing with conversation. When you just stop and have that silence is so intimidating. And it's just as intimidating in dancing as it is in just sitting talking to somebody. So as I'm thinking, I do teaching as well, which again would only happen for me in Edmonton. But anyway, one of my, I think, abilities or skills, or at least interest and focus, is what are the emotional blockages that keep us from just sitting with someone, just pausing with them, just being open to the sensation or the feeling or the and I just see it all the time, and I experience it myself too as well, in my own dancing. But anyway, that maybe more direct to your question. I don't see it often, except that I saw it just recently in somebody videoed dance that I was of myself with my partner, which we weren't intending to it be a solo, but people stayed off the dance floor, and we weren't intending it to be videoed, but somebody did that graciously. And I was extremely plain in my dancing, but what I did was I just created all these pauses where my partner was very elegant and very graceful, and I mean she was beautiful. People just were mesmerized by her, and but I thought my gift in that situation was I created the pause, the space, and she, because we've danced before, she knew that she had all the time in the world to create and to express herself in whatever way she did, because I would wait for her and I would listen to her. And then I would create another space where she could look fabulous. And so that, and a friend watching it said, a couple of people, never seen tango dance that slow. And I just thought, well, that's what I'm looking for.
I got to witness that, and it was beautiful. Just saying, Aiden, it was gorgeous.
Thank you.
And for those that were watching, we definitely got a lot out of it.
Mm.
And it was interesting how everybody stopped, like nobody got on the dance floor when we just let the two of them go. It was absolutely beautiful.
You make a video of it.
Yes, well,
Yeah.
somebody videoed.
It was a small video, yes.
Do you mind sending it in the Telegram group so we all can watch?
Okay, sure, I'll do. You know,
Yay! Good idea.
it's really anyway. I've
Now
explained.
we're vulnerable.
See how it feels. Oh.
I can do it after. I can't do it now because it would be too cold.
Totally okay. When you were saying about slowness, I remember how it was like a very significant moment for my dancing where a leader was saying, you don't have to move that fast, like be slower. And I don't know, I was like, what? But the music is this way. How am I supposed to move slower? And only, I don't know how much time passed for me to understand how I think also Vane was saying, like, make your free leg heavier. Like, don't move, don't collect that fast. Don't like there is weight. And what I understood was that in the beginning, as a follower, I wanted to show the leader that I understood what he wants from me. This is how I perceive tango. He guides me and I have to do something. So I wanted to show that I heard him as fast as possible, and which makes my dance kind of like erratic and more almost being like ahead of him a little bit, which is not right now for me. It's not the purpose of tango. And it was years later that I understood how to pause actually as a follower, and how to take my time, and how to make myself heavy and not like, okay, I'm going to be super light, you can move me around and I can understand everything and I'm going to make everything you want. But I also understand where it's coming from because I lived it, and how there is this desire to show that I heard you, I understand. And yeah, I think slowness comes with experience, probably. I think. Yeah, but thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Well,
I mean,
I was
fast is.
thinking, sorry.
Beck, you were
Go
saying?
ahead, Aidan. Okay. When I started tango, when I went to Buenos Aires, I was literally, I'd taken like 2 lessons. There's no way I was going to get on the dance floor. And so I spent probably pretty much the first visit just watching, just sitting in milongas till 4 or 5 in the morning, not dancing at all. And so that was mainly just because the kind of old school traditional milongas I was going to had a very strict etiquette on the dance floor, where if you moved out of line, it was really, really bad. And so as a beginner dancer, I could do a little bit of a walk, but there was no way I could keep to the line. And it was quite rough as well. It was quite if you accidentally touch someone, there could be proper trouble. So for me, what I loved was watching a community, really, of of people engaging, and that's what fascinated me. It was more than I was very moved by the dancers who looked like they were connecting, because I was in my own relationship trauma. So seeing that was like, wow. And I was moved by what I now see, a lot of it was kind of fantasy rather than often reality, a kind of persona, a kind of idea of the perfect embrace. But more than anything, I was like, what a crazy world this is. Like, this is just mad, this kind of, because it was so not my world, this walking around, in this way with all these codes. So I was kind of as much interested in the waiters kind of serving the tables and what was going on and outside with the cigarette smokers and the whole flow. And I think for me, one of the reasons I don't dance is when I look at tango now, I don't actually like the look of it. I mean, not the individual dances. I don't like the look of the milongas. I don't like the look of the judgment. You know, we're so critical in the tango world. It's so like. So one thing I was interested also about the watching. Is also when you're dancing, you're aware you're being watched, which is also part of it. It's part of the magic that you're being watched. Because if not, we could just dance tango with our loved ones on our own in our kitchens, which is lovely. So yeah, I think it's so multifaceted. And I think whenever I get drawn back to dancing tango, it's usually just that if I do see someone who does it, I'll go, oh my God, they're hitting that spot or they're hitting that memory. And that way I know it's a cliche, but it is a nostalgia. Watching the nostalgia. Yeah.
Can I ask you something? How many years ago was that?
Over 20 years ago.
So the dancing was quite different. Like it was, apart from the fact that it was in Buenos Aires, but in Buenos Aires it was very different than what it is now, right? So
Well, I haven't been back recently, but I hear it's very different. When I was there was definitely there was very two clear lines. It already had, wherever tango had already made its mark, but there still existed Villa Urquiza and the barrio, that barrio was still very active. So it still had these old clubs with these old dancers. But it also had the practicatics with all the new styles. So it was still there was both worlds side by side.
right. So you were thinking, this is how I heard you say that how like madness, like what tango is. Like it was so different that how you perceive the real world to be, right? Is that what you said, or why was
No,
it?
I think it's more for me. My life was not at all living according to some sort of etiquette of the dance floor. Or, I love dancing, but mainly on my own, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm more into Afrobeat, kind of, reggae, that sort of, rock and roll, punk, that's, independent. So to kind of get involved in this strange world where couples dance in a certain way and you have to walk in this way and you mustn't go out of the line, and it was very patriarchal. I mean, that was, in a ridiculous way. But I was fascinated by that culture. It was so opposed to my culture.
Right. So what is the nostalgia about? About the feeling, how different it felt?
The idea of the perfect, this kind of the romance of the perfect relationship, this potential of this promise, which I now understand it's that moment, it's a perfect moment. But you're then, as a tango dancer, I think you're often longing to recover that, to exist in that perfect moment again. Yeah. That's the nostalgia which is carried in the music and in the dance and when we watch or when we're watched. Yeah.
I call it longing land.
Looking yeah.
What made you stay? Like you perceive.
I started making a film. That's why I started making a documentary about it, and so that's when I made it. That's what.
So the documentary made you stay in tango.
Well, it was it's a whole nother story. I don't want to take up all the time here. It was very, yeah. I fell in love with a couple, and they asked me to become their manager, and so I went back and lived with them and learned with them. So it was a whole, yeah,
Super
story.
interesting. Yeah. Because for me it's very interesting also. I mean, we can talk about it another time. We're kind of what, because I feel like the beginning of tango is so difficult. It's like you pick up any other dance and you're like, okay, 3 steps and I can kind of do it. And tango is like you're learning a new language. And for me, especially for leaders, I have such a high respect for leaders. You have to think about 50 million things, and like how do people stay? That might be a topic for another time. But yeah.
We gave time. I have to.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Aiden, do you have like 3 more minutes? I would like to have a closing round to for everybody to share what they're taking away, what they were hoping for, maybe what we can weave in next time. Yeah, whoever wants to go.
Well, the stories are fascinating, and I'm really keen on hearing more about Beck's journey and even the documentary. So,
Me, it was very interesting. I didn't know what I was gonna, I don't know. I kind of can't quite remember how I registered, but I think it was something through. I think Jesus's face is familiar, so it must have been something you posted, Jesus, or something. So it's a nice kind of chance encounter. So and it's really lovely. I like, hearing you all, and obviously the deep tango souls. So nice. And it's great how you all listen to each other. That's nice too. So yeah, lovely. And likewise, Aidan, I was kind of going, I was going, wow, I need to find out who's this, what's this book?
I'll post
So
some where
that'd be nice. Yeah. But
We have
yeah, so lovely. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. We have a Telegram group. If you go to Tango Sensaciones, there is a little button and
Okay.
you can join the Telegram group. And I hope we can all share the books, the blogs, the documentaries, the whatever we're doing. Yeah. Yeah, if anyone else wants to share.
Thank you so much for hosting this. I have to admit, it was a really interesting topic. It's one that I would never have thought to put out here, saying watching dance. But like I said, I feel that watching dance is not a passive, it's not just passive entertainment. I really feel it's an active experience for those of us that are watching it, for our brain, for our emotions, and just to be able to feel that movement. So thank you for such an interesting and bizarre topic.
Thank you, Cher.
I have a lot of thoughts going on in my head, so I might just write you an email to to sum it up.
Please.
'Cause one thing is I saw Gustavo and Giselle Ann dancing in Berlin, I think maybe 2 months before they split. And that was really interesting because they must have been in a fight before they were performing. And I could tell as soon as they stepped on the dance floor. So this was really interesting to watch, for example. And then Jesus, I agree that I learn a lot when I watch people dancing. I call it I'm stealing with my eyes. So yeah. And yeah, and then also like the people watching, for example, once my sister wanted to join and she went to the milonga with me, and she saw a couple dancing and she was like, oh, this must be a couple. And I was like, no, they're not a couple, they're just dancing. And she was like, really? Oh my God, this is so she couldn't believe it. So there are so many different aspects. Yeah.
Yeah, my sister used to say, so you are like close to a stranger's face that you haven't even spoken to before? I'm like, uh-huh. And in the summer, his sweat is dripping down my face. Just saying.
Yeah.
And thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Looking forward for the next
Thank you.
session.
Yeah, the next one is going to be June 19th. It's going to be a Saturday. We're always alternating back Tuesdays and Saturdays so people can join when they can. And yeah, there is a Telegram group.
How do I join the Telegram group? Because I'm not in there yet. I don't know. Where's the button?
Go to tangosensaciones.com and there is a link on the homepage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There is this little airplane that Telegram is, so there is one button for Instagram and one for Telegram. So, and this is.
Can I just ask, just before you go, where is everyone? I know, where is everyone? Like, where are you? You're in Berlin, I think, Ella, is that right?
Yes.
I'm
Me
also in
Berlin.
You're also in Berlin.
And Aidan and I are both in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Oh, wow.
I'm in the UK.
Yeah, I saw you were actually just up the road.
Oh, really?
Well, you're in Devon, no?
Yes, I am.
Well, I mean, Cornwall, so that's like not that far. Couple of hours.
One day we will all meet in person.
Come to Totnes.
I do often go to Totnes, but I don't dance tango there. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, guys. It was so lovely as always.
Thank you.
And hope to see you next time, June 19th.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much, both of you.
Thank you back for joining.
Your pleasure. Thank you.
Bye-bye.